Agamemnon, Atreus, Prometheus, Perseus, Theseus, Tiresias, Menelaus, Athena, Poseidon, Zeus, Apollo, Thyestes, Orestes, hello, and how are you? Thank you for joining me here today. I truly savor each and every view, and let's just dive right in. I mean, look, as you can tell from that bizarre intro, as well as the title, I mean, this is the first video of a miniseries on Greek mythology, a fascinating subject. We don't really know why it's fascinating, but it is. I mean, maybe it's the names, maybe it's the story. You just know that, oh, there are some cool stories in there. But man, these ancient Greek poets, Homer, I was about to say Virgil's Roman mythology, Homer, Hesiod, Aeschylus. I mean, these people are creating stories and characters that are almost as imaginative and creative as Rowling and Tolkien today. They would not only do that, but they would memorize these super long epics, perform them in front of everyone in the village, imitating in the different voices and personalities of all the different characters. I mean, they were just truly impressive human beings, and that's exactly why they have withstood the test of time. I mean, if you're like me, you don't know that much about Greek mythology, but you're just for whatever reason fascinated by it. So that's why I took a free online class on Coursera entitled Greek and Roman Mythology, taught by Peter Struck, a University of Pennsylvania Ivy League professor, and it was awesome. I remember that same summer I took it about a year and a half ago. I told two people in my Bible study, I was like, yeah, I'm taking this course on Greek and Roman mythology, and they're like, oh, no way, like you're making me want to take one. And they're like, gosh, that's sick, just because it's for whatever reason a fascinating subject. And not only is it entertaining, but I think that we can learn some things. That a lot of historical scholars think that Greek mythology has profound truths in them. Plato himself thinks that mythology constructs culture. Anyway, so what is one of those profound truths? I think we can learn that from the man himself, Odysseus. Of course, the protagonist of the Odyssey. You've heard of Odysseus before. We think of Odysseus right now as just, a badass hero, and rightfully so. And obviously, he certainly had his flaws, but what's fascinating about him is when we meet him at the beginning of Book 5 in the Odyssey, he is not a heroic figure. He's actually pretty unheroic, and he's just chilling on this beautiful island. He's got a goddess by his side. I mean, life is good, but he himself doesn't even think that he can change much or change the world or do much, achieve much. But obviously that changes. Sorry, I feel like I've got something in my nose. And he proves us and he proves himself wrong. And there's so much that happens. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty details. I mean, you've probably heard about him battling Poseidon and battling the Cyclops, Polyphemus, who's Poseidon's son. After he battles Poseidon, he somehow makes it out alive. He's naked, bloodied, and broken, washed up on a beach, and he runs into this beautiful goddess. I don't even know if she's a goddess, but just beautiful woman named Nausicaa. And Odysseus has to use his skills. I mean, look, he's very manipulative. He's cunning. He's crafty. He thrives in high, complex social situations. He's very curious. He's very good at truly learning from his mistakes, and he truly changes and improves his behavior based off of his prior experiences. Except the biggest lesson of all that he teaches us, and the reason that he's so famous, is he's a master of pain. His name, Odysseus, literally translates to man of pain. And not only that, but suffering. And he endures this like none other. He bounces back with just relentlessly, with a tremendous display of resilience. And it's like, oh my gosh, you think about what he went through, and I know that it's a completely made up character, but it's still just, it's fun, okay? That's all we're doing here. We're having fun. And he not only battles Poseidon and Polyphemus, but he travels to the underworld and makes it out alive successfully, something that is not easy to do. Right afterwards, he's leading his men on a ship, and he can either go this way and battle Charybdis, a gigantic, barbaric, malevolent sea monster transformed by Zeus, or he can go this way and battle Scylla, a brutal sea monster monster transformed by Circe. And it's like, oh my gosh, Charybdis would kill all of his men, Scylla would kill some of them, so it's an easy decision to fight Scylla, which is what he does. But it's like, gosh, he's just a leader here, deciding between two difficult decisions, something that a lot of leaders today do. That's kind of what leadership is deciding between two difficult decisions. And it's like, gosh, he just can't catch a break. He makes it out of Scylla alive. Half of his men are dead. And then he makes it home eventually, and even when he gets home, he gets home in book 12. There are 24 books of the Odyssey. The last half of the book, the books, I guess, is just him trying to find his wife, and his wife wouldn't even recognize him because he looks so much different, and it's been 10 years, and he shows her his scar that she would know, or I guess I think it's Euryclea, one other character would also know the scar, but still she's not convinced, and then he has to tell her some other secret that only Odysseus would know, and then she's finally convinced. It's like, man, this guy just can't catch a break. He's just out there taking right jab, left uppercut, left and right, and here he is bouncing back. It's truly remarkable, and by the end of his journey, he's so curious. Sorry, I already said he's curious. He's so intelligent. He's so wise. He's learned so much. Why? Because pain is the great professor. Buddhism revolves around suffering, the Four Noble Truths, and the fourth noble truth being the Noble Eightfold Path. It's all about detaching from our desires so that we can conquer suffering. In Christianity, the cross literally stands for pain and suffering. And that is why, Odysseus, he could be a Buddhist monk, he could be a Christian disciple. And here he is, he's just the master of pain. That's why he's learned so much, and that's why we just revere him today, or revered. What does that even mean? That's just why we love him today. I guess not. That's not a great word either. So look, this is why I don't script out my videos. I just have a mental outline, and then it comes up to coming up with the vocabulary name on the fly, and I just simply can't do it. But anyway, it begs the question, doesn't it? Like, what are you going to do with your pain? And when you're suffering, is that a bad thing? It hurts temporarily, but it's going to end, and you're going to learn from it eventually. And it's just a great reminder. I mean, look, when I first learned about Odysseus and this whole story, I mean, look, I live in Spokane right now, and it gets cold in the winter, and I like super cold, but colder than what I'm used to, and I'm not a fan of the cold. But guess what? When I'm walking back to my car at 11 p.m. after reffing flag football in the freezing snow, and I'm just kind of shivering. I got shorts on I don't know why I have shorts, but I'm just shivering, and it's like, you know what? No, this is good. It builds character. I want to endure. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? The lights just went out, and we're back. Sorry about that. I can't believe the lights just went off. Gosh, honestly, I've been here in a while and I haven't moved, so I guess that's why. It must be on a timer or something. That video, oh my gosh, this video is taking me so many takes, but you know what? I'm glad. It was a fun process. You can kind of just picture me just screaming into my own phone in the empty classroom. People are probably out in the hallway just like, oh my gosh, did you hear that madman in there? Anyway, I'm going to edit these two together, which is something I've never done before. All my videos up until this point have just been one take, no cuts, no edits, and so I'll have to break my own rule there. But the point that I was making, I can't even remember where I left off, but let's say I'm shivering and I kind of just want to embrace the suffering a little bit, and maybe I even want to enjoy the pain. Maybe that sounds masochistic, but I know that pain is the great professor. It builds character. And I remember when I first heard that pain is the great professor, and when I tied it in with the Odyssey, the next morning I got on a great leg workout just to feel pain and conquer it and learn from it and battle in life. I mean, look, suffering sucks, but it's temporary. And so I think that's the lesson that Odysseus is teaching us, and one of the main things that Homer wants us to take away from arguably a masterpiece in the Odyssey. So just sleep on that. I hope that it resonates with you a little bit. If you don't feel look, if you're feeling pain and suffering in your life right now, then I'm sure it will. If you don't feel any pain or suffering, which would be pretty tough, pretty rare, then that's awesome. But at the same time, maybe you should do something so that you do feel some pain. Get a great leg workout in. Push yourself tomorrow so that you work hard, so that you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. I need to sleep. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going to leave you with that. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. I thank you so much for watching. Sorry, I know this was a longer video, but man, first video of a mini series of Greek mythology. It's tough to keep it light, but I'm going to do 2, maybe 3 more Greek mythology videos, and those ones I promise will be shorter, maybe even super short, like only 2 or 3 minutes. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.